Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm hoping my mic's working now. I don't know, the last couple of videos didn't work, but I think it's working now. Okay, my goat willow forest. These trees grow around here like weeds basically. This main tree I actually found in a bin out our back in work. We had like a bin with some bits of recycling and foam and stuff in it. And the lid had blown open. It had been sitting there for a long time, and this guy was growing on top of some cardboard, which was the bin was full of water and the cardboard on the top, it was all stacked in, and this was just growing on the top of it, and it was growing probably 10 foot tall or something like that, just like a big long whip. So I cut it off, which would be here. You can see that now it's actually turned to the front. That was the top. So that's kind of funny how that worked, but it did. And then, so it was just basically a straight stick in the pot, but it did have a really nice root base because of the way it was growing on top of the flat cardboard. So it had this nice kind of radial root base. So yeah, so I just started growing from that. These others I've just collected. I find them growing in my garden, all around my pots and everywhere. They just sprout up. In the spring they're all over the place. So I just collected a few over the last couple of years and started growing them. And again, just you can see each one's had, move it away from the good. Each one has more or less had a big chop on it at the top, and then I've just grown the branches out. Except for maybe these couple of small little ones, they're just like little whips that have grown. Okay, so I'm just going to basically go in, bring back the branches a bit, tidy them up, get rid of all the dead wood. There's lots of branches grown from the one spot, so they need cleaning up. So if you keep them pruned and you keep on top of the pruning, like I've just kind of let them run now at the end of the summer, so the branch leaves you can see have started to get a little bit big, but you can get the leaves quite small. Now we're out in nature, when they're growing the leaves can be about that big, so you can get the leaves quite small when we keep them pruned and that. I'm not sure if you get these in the country you're living in, but they do grow like weeds around here, so it's always good to work on trees. I'm going to use my little springy snips for this because they're very small fine branches. So these are handy just to get in, get rid of all the dead wood and stuff. Yeah, it's always, I think it's always good if you have any trees that grow around you where you live and they basically grow like weeds, and they're a good one to practice on, because one, you know they grow well in your climate where you are, and two, they're easily replaced, so you can experiment with them. You can basically do what you want with them, and if they die, then there's no problem going out finding more. So maybe just go around. It could be, I don't know, any type of tree really that grows. I think every country or wherever you are, there'll be some sort of a tree or a plant that grows. Like this, like a weed, and you can just collect a few and practice on them. Okay. They're kind of easier to prune when they're in a leaf because a lot of the branches look like they're dead now. It's like they look dead, and then but if you look at the end of the branch, there's live growing tips out in the ends. So I'm kind of just giving them a quick going over, just taking off the definite dead branches, Just shorten them back a bit, and then when they're in leaf I tend to keep on top of the pruning with them all year round, just to keep them ramifying, keep the leaves small, basically like I do with my Chinese elms, same kind of thing. Because if you do let them run like this, they just get bigger leaves and they just keep getting, the branch just keeps going out. So we don't want that, we want them to branch off and create lots more branching. This one might be a little bit far out. I'm going to take this one right back to here, I think. I'll take that one back to there. This one back here is a bit long too. Get rid of that. I'll probably bring the camera in a little closer so we can see a bit better. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. So yeah, this is just a kind of a clean up today basically. And like I said, I just keep on top of the pruning then when they're in leaf. Just going to move this back a little bit where it's dead. Maybe these guys might be a bit better. Get in here. The good thing about them too is because they grow wild everywhere, you got lots of sizes. So I could easily go out and collect some more tinier ones if I wanted to add more. I could find smaller ones, I could probably find bigger ones if I wanted to get bigger ones, but these ones are pretty much okay for this forest anyway. Okay, let's have a look at the main tree, I suppose. Hopefully you can tell the difference between the branches. There's a lot of branching going on around it. If I could put something, tea towel here maybe might help, just to put that in behind there. I know the blue background is to help you see the branches better. But when you're in a forest, there's a lot of branches. It's hard to tell which tree is which. Okay, so that might help. And you can just see the little tiny buds on each branch, little tiny red buds. There's one there. So I'm pruning to an outward facing bud all the time. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up them because they're quite small, but you'll have to trust me on that one. Branch, see, it looks dead. It's very brown, different brown to the rest, but it's still flexible, so it's hard to tell. Again, same with that one, but then I can see little red buds out in the end. Seems to have a lot going on here, crossing branches and stuff. I'll probably take off this bigger one in here. Take that out. Take off these dead ones. Again, a lot going on here. Take out that bottom bit there, I think. Take away that stub. So the rain has finally stopped. It was actually quite a nice sunshiny day today for a change. I haven't seen the sun for a couple of weeks. Well, not a full day of it anyway. Might have got a glimpse of it here and there for a little while, but that was about it. It's just been raining continuously. Okay, we got this branch under here. I'm too sure about that. I'm going to take that one out. Let's go into this front one. Get this, that's dead there. So difficult to see. I normally, to be honest, leave this until it's in leaf before I prune it, because it is quite difficult to tell, but I'm just taking the opportunity now. That branch definitely looks dead to me. Yeah. While it's not in leaf, because when it is in leaf, it's quite hard to see the branch structure. I'm just taking this opportunity to give it a bit of a once over. That branch under there. It's hard to tell if it's dead or not, but we don't need it. It's still alive, but you can see it's a completely different colour. This branch actually looks dead. Not sure about this one under here. Might leave for now because we might be taking this one off. But again, we'll wait till it's in leaf so we can see what we're dealing with. Don't want to take any big branches off now until, because like that you don't know which ones are dead, or it's hard to tell which ones are dead. And then you could take off a big branch and find you've taken off a good living branch and one next to it died off. So we'll wait until they're in leaf to do any big prunes. Again, same with these, there's two here. Could get rid of one or the other, but we'll wait and see what leaves up. funny branch coming back on itself here. Get rid of that. Big chunk at the front here we can get rid of. Get rid of that guy. Again, I think that one's dead back there. Okay, so I think bar that back branch. Okay, so we've cleaned that up a good bit. Like I said, we'll just leave it now at that until leaves up, and then we'll keep pruning it all through the year. Okay, so I'll keep going and I'll get the rest of them done, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Okay, so I think all the pruning's done on the trees. So I've kind of reduced them back a bit, like I said, just to keep them some bit of check. Now we just need to go in and do a bit of weeding. I'll just move these out of the way now. So I'll take out all this liverwort in a way for a start. The moss that was in here has all kind of died off. I won't be putting new moss on it now, we'll leave that till the spring now, because we get so much rain, a lot of the time the moss just kind of rots away anyway over the winter, so there's not much point doing this now with fresh moss. See, it's all kind of just rotted away. Scrape back the soil a little bit. It's not actually the soil I'm scraping off, it's actually the moss that's kind of rotted away. It's more or less turned into soil. Okay, so this is probably going to take me a little while again, so we'll pause the video while I do another bit. And I'll keep going, and then we'll come back and have a look at it when it's all weeded and cleaned up. Okay, this seed, we're going to have to do a bit of cutting back on that as well, because that's getting a bit overgrown. Do for now. Just get rid of some of the long ones out of it. Okay, so I'll pause the video and I'll go over it, give it all a weeding, and then we'll come back. Okay, I gave up. I can't bring myself to just leave it all brown, so I caved and I've gone and collected a little bit of moss from around the garden, so I just put a few bits here and there just to get rid of it, all the brown looking patches. Just to have some green on it. Here, we'll break it in two. We'll put one bit here, one bit here. It just breaks it up a bit rather than having it all this muck. We can use a piece of this. Just put it up here a bit. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Put our board back on. I just can't bring myself to leave it just all brown. After all, I am going to be still looking at it every day. Okay, so I think that'll do. So that's another forest cleaned up and ready for the winter. It is quite mucky, but to be honest, these trees do like it quite wet, the soil, so they're probably happy out in that soil anyway. It probably won't need repotting, but what I might do in the spring is kind of scrape back all the top layer, maybe put some fresh soil on, because I think what's happened is the moss that I put on is broken down and it's all turned into more of, and the worms have probably eaten it and it's turned more into a soil, like it looks like a garden soil more so than a bonsai soil. So, but like I said, these trees do like it wet all the time, so that's okay for these. But yeah, so other than that, I'm happy out with it for now. We can go back on the bench and we can leave this one, put this one down as being done. I will take the boar off before I put it out, because he'll just get ruined over the winter. There's no point having him out there in the winter. I could keep bringing all my animals and ornaments and stuff over the winter, and just because they get rained on and everything, they end up fading and stuff, so he can go into hibernation for the winter. Okay, so that's it for this one, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Help out the channel as much as you can. It would be greatly appreciated, and we will see you on the next one.